Welcome to part 2. Let's recap part 1. I had a plan. The plan didn't work. Taking the blade off my lawnmower ended up taking the better part of 4 hours and 2 trips to the store. So here we are. We just got the blade off, and it's time to go back to fixing this stupid bent lawnmower shaft. Now you're caught up. All right, that was another fun drive to the parts store. The problem we have here, the thing you don't see in a lot of YouTube videos, it's one of the reasons I admire channels like AVE, Eric O at South Main Auto, some of the other ones where, and when I decided to make a few videos, we'll see where this goes, I didn't want to hide stuff like this, right? I could have spent a few hours prepping for this video, and maybe it makes for better viewing. But I could have spent a couple hours prepping for this video and gotten this whole thing disassembled, knew exactly what parts I needed, then put it all back together again so that when I came out and did it one more time for the camera, it all worked perfectly and I didn't destroy anything. And you could be left with the impression that every mechanical contrivance is so easy to take apart and put back together, and that rust isn't a real thing. Most of this stuff is rusty and corroded and dirty and doesn't come apart anywhere as easily as they say. And then you end up with pieces like this, right? This is supposed to be a lot more flat across here. If you look at it this way, this curve in here is not supposed to be curved. So that when you attach the blades to this thing, and here's the old blades that came off. Right, this is a double stack. This is a mulching mower. Double stack of blades. It should, the carrier should hold them flat, but as you can see, yeah, it doesn't quite sit flat the way it used to. So, for $49.95, and I guess watching some other people's video, people get all upset about part numbers if you don't tell them what the part numbers are, because they're too lazy to look them up themselves. Why should I look on a parts finder site that Honda itself makes when I can go to a YouTube video from some guy I never met and have no idea if he knows what he's talking about? You get a kit. So, new woodruff key, new center bolts, new bolts for you, and geez, it's like an unboxing video, which seems really stupid. A new center section. Feels a little bit lighter to me, but as you can see, it's actually flat on the bottom, as opposed to what we did to this. There's an old saying from the Vietnam War, right? We had to destroy the village to save it, sir. Well, I've saved this from communism. All right. Now we got to go back to straightening this thing out. Let's go figure out exactly how fucked up it is. All right, let's see what happens when we actually pull and the shaft starts to turn. How bad is it out around? Okay, so the worst of it appears to be right over here. I'm going to mark that. The worst of it seemed to be right about here. We want to bend, using this pipe, that shaft in the opposite direction from that high spot. Which would be hard enough if I didn't have to work around a goddamn camera. So I think I'm going to have to move you again. Because I got to brace this deck, go here, see what happens. Right, precision machining at its finest. You know what, I'm going to use a slightly easier to see indicator. There we go. Rona. Okay, that looks like it's about the closest. So I want to bend this a little opposite from the screw. And then I just need to do this about 30 or 40 more times. And eventually, through dumb luck, instead of planning, we will bend it in the right direction and we will get most of the eccentricity out of this thing. So it's got to come up this way. Almost makes me wish I had a longer pipe. Longer pipe. Alright, it's better. See if I can get this indicator back on it. Okay. Okay. Get that crank down nicely. Alright, it's zeroed there. What if I were to take this bolt? Can I turn it over? Can I bar it over from here? I think that'd probably be easier, eh? Now we're cooking. Okay. Here's the high spot. 28, 29, 30, 39, 38, 39, 40, 42, 46, 48. We're gonna push down on this fucker. Let's see if that actually did a goddamn thing. I'm not really sure it did. Let me just reset this. Okay. This on here. Tighten. Put that straight up. I am not moving a goddamn thing on this thing. Get a better grip on it. Alright, let's see if this works. Oh, God. I have barely moved it. Barely moved it. Yeah, it's an easy repair, they said. I remember my old-timey farmer friends growing up doing this. They always made it look so easy. But it's also probably because they never checked whether they actually fixed anything with a dial indicator or not. Their only criteria was that it didn't shake their hands so bad that they went numb. And maybe that's all I can settle for. And the best thing I can do is get through this leaf season and then either split the engine put a new crankshaft in it, or buy a new mower. Let's try some more verbal abuse. I mean, it's moving. At some point I gotta put a hammer on it or something, I don't know. do a touch here, it would actually be better. Dumbass. That should be around the high spot. Yeah, it's not doing a thing. Not doing a goddamn thing. So, my underpants gnome plan worked perfectly. Step 1, prep the mower. Step 2, no idea if it's going to work. Step 3, well, it's supposed to be profit. Now step 3 is give up and try something new. So I think that's going to about do it till we wrap this up and I spend some time thinking about what's the next step.